The Grape Escape is a gimmick game from my childhood that features a machine that crushes, snips, saws, and squishes Play-Doh grapes. There's a much more recent release available, but it's less mechanical. This video only covers the version I grew up with, and perhaps in the future, I may be able to do a side-by-side comparison of the two versions, as I think there may have been some good changes made by the update, but for now, on to the tutorial. To begin, each player chooses a color of Play-Doh. They then use the mold to create their grapes, and all grapes are placed at the start. After placing the machine in the middle of the board, the game can begin. On a player's turn, they roll the die and move that many spaces. Most spaces are conveyor belt spaces, and they're on the board itself, but there are 4 jam stations that count as spaces too. If your grape lands on a jam station, this doesn't mean the machine is activated, but let's just say it's not the safest place to be. If your grape lands on a conveyor belt space already occupied by another player, the other player's grape is moved clockwise around the board to the next jam station. If your grape lands on a jam station already occupied by another grape, then your grape is moved clockwise to the next jam station. In either case, if the grapes in question are on or past the last jam station, they go back around the board to the scissors jam station. Now, all this talk about the jam stations has probably gotten you hungry for some jelly. So when does the machine turn on? Well, there are 2 special sides of the die that we need to talk about. If a player rolls Grape Leap, then they move their grape 1 space ahead of the player in the lead. This also means that if you're currently in the lead, you move ahead 1 space. But the most exciting side of the dice is the Crank, which when rolled means the player activates the machine, crushing, snipping, squishing, or sawing any grapes on the jam stations. If there aren't any grapes on a jam station, the player chooses a grape to go on a jam station and then turn them into jam. After a grape is crushed, snipped, squished, or sawed into jam, the player takes their jammed piece and makes a new one, placing them at the start. The first grape to cross the finish line wins. So that's how you play the Grape Escape. I really enjoyed it as a kid, and I think you and your kids will too. And until next time, this is Hogwash. Over and out. Catch you later.